Loesch is a radio show host, and she joins us now. I'd never defend this guy in Montana. He totally lost control of himself, hitting her. Come on now, stop that. But to act as if this represents the right and acceptable behavior among conservatives when the progressive left is literally setting fires is a total distortion of reality, from what I can tell.
Yes, Tucker, thank you for having me. And I completely agree with you in this instance. Absolutely. First off, you can believe two things simultaneously. That Gianforte behaved wrongly. You can believe that. But you can also, Tucker, believe that the media, in some respects, is culpable. That the violent progressive left is, in some respects, culpable. I mean, let's keep this in mind. We're talking about the same media that has ignored the behavior and really underreported, and in some cases not reported at all, the violent behavior of many on the progressive left. This is the same media, Tucker, that promoted the hands up, don't shoot, that left many communities, including the communities in my hometown of St. Louis, actually burned to ash. This is a media right now, Tucker. You want to talk about violence. What about the story that Luke Rosiak at Daily Caller reported, how you had Debbie Wasserman Schultz threatening Capitol Police because they seized government computers in an ongoing scandal that should be really rocking every headline about these two IT staffers that hacked and were stealing government information. But yet we don't see that. Would we even be having this conversation about Greg Gianforte and the anger of so many people in America if media had done their job the past 10, 20 years, if they hadn't looked the other way at all of the violent actions that we have seen so many progressive leftists commit?
And celebrate. We interviewed a New York City councilman this week who endorsed the inclusion of a convicted terrorist, a guy who spent over 30 years in prison for armed robbery, for building explosives, from the Puerto Rican separatist group FALN. And he's being honored at the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City with the backing of the city council, including the head of the city council. Like, what? I don't remember living in a country like that, and yet that goes basically unremarked upon. And just to be totally clear, this is not an excuse for the lunatic behavior yesterday by that guy running for office in Montana, but it's an acknowledgement, okay, let's talk about violence. And it really is real.
Yeah, it is real, and we see it. Everyone wants to talk about President Trump, but let's discuss Tom Perez and his cussing crusade that he's been giving on so many different fundraisers. Let's talk for a moment about the California Democrat Convention, Tucker, just last weekend, where you had a number of Democrats on stage screaming expletive Trump and expletive Republicans, and that was cheered on and celebrated by the entire contingent of California Democrats. But yet they want to accuse everyone else of fomenting violence, of instigating violence, of violent rhetoric. Tucker, I have been seeing this. I know you've seen this too for over 10 years now. I get tired of it. And you know what? Middle America, America in general, is tired of it as well. I had so many people who called into my radio program today, Tucker, who said, you know what? Maybe the media deserves it because we're tired of being lied about. We're tired of being manipulated. And we're tired of them excusing awful things done to us in the name of partisan ideology. This is the point we are at because people hate media this badly.
Well, and I think they've earned a lot of that scorn for sure. But isn't it important
they've gone out and tried to ruin people's lives?
Oh, I've been on the receiving end. But isn't it important to say there is a significant difference between people who seek to debate and use reason in order to persuade and people who are willing to endorse the use of force to get others to obey? Like, those are two different worlds. And I, for one, would rather be and insist on being in one and not the other. And shouldn't conservatives say that? I mean, I get that people are annoying, but like, wouldn't you rather be famous for like not hitting them?
Yeah, I think so. I think you would rather be so. And you and I've talked about this before. I mean, really, it's weak to think that you can convince someone with use of force. Ultimately, yes, it can be harder. It can be a lot more difficult to use reason and logic to appeal to hearts and minds. But that should be the ultimate goal, because are you really converting someone? Are you really persuading them if you omit their free will choice to agree with you?
Well, exactly. And we're going to try. Sometimes it is like beating your head against a wall. Dan, thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
Good to see you, Tucker. Thank you.